Good afternoon, my friends. This is Paul, and today I'm going to be reviewing to you Super Mario Maker 2 for the Nintendo Switch. Wow, and I thought it was a novelty when they announced Super Mario Maker 1 for the Wii U. Yeah, that's right, the Wii U had an absolutely stellar sensation of allowing you to officially create your own Mario levels without using a ROM hacker for the first time. Suffice to say, it was probably the best use of the gamepad the Wii U ever saw. And instead of just simply porting the game over to the Switch like they did on the 3DS, Nintendo decided, well, how about we make an entire sequel and add a slew of new features? So that's exactly what they did. So if you haven't played the original Mario Maker, basically it's split into two modes. There's the Make mode, which allows you to create your own Mario levels. And then there's the Play mode, which allows you to go online and play courses that other people have made, or do the Story mode that actually has dialogue, choice, and 100 plus levels made by Nintendo themselves, so you can ensure that it is absolute maximum quality. Which is such a breath of fresh air, considering how much time I spent on the Wii U version playing levels that were absolute garbage. So, I stink at making my own levels. In fact, even when I failed courses too many times and Luigi would say, "Hey bro, you want some assistant parts?" I'd try placing them and I'd be floundering around like an idiot because, for one, I was really used to using the Wii U gamepad, which was much more convenient and seemed like it was tailor-made for this thing. And two, I don't know about you, but it just feels weird to create levels on a controller. So I tried, and I'm just not even gonna bother. I'm gonna let the geniuses, like say my siblings or other people, create their own levels and I'll play them. Well, I would if the game didn't require you to pay just to go online. I'm gonna let that sink in for a bit, that the Wii U version did not require you to pay to go online. So why is that a downgrade? It seems like a sequel should fix those issues. Speaking of issues the sequel didn't fix, it also removed all of the amiibo costumes, which were one of the biggest enjoyment factors I had out of the original Super Mario Maker. And you didn't even need the amiibos for all of the costumes except one. So would it have been really that hard to just port them over even if they couldn't use costumes for the newer amiibo, like say Cloud and Bayonetta? Regardless, this is still a stellar sequel, but unfortunately, because I refuse to pay for the Nintendo Switch Online, I'm going to be exclusively focusing on the Story mode, because you can actually play that offline. So basically the premise of the story, yes, that's right, there's a premise this time besides just an expanded tutorial that the 3DS version gave us, is that Mario and his gang have just finished rebuilding Peach's castle, but then the Undo Dog from the creation menu completely demolishes the castle by hitting the reset button. So it's Mario's job to collect enough coins by doing these levels, which have coins in them, and they also have rewards from the people that made the level, and then he has to give them to the Toad crew so that they continue working on Peach's castle. It really is incredible seeing how both the music and the castle evolve over time, and you don't have to only do the jobs that the Taskmaster gives you. You can also explore the grounds, which is fairly limited, but still kind of cool because you can interact with other characters besides just Toads, which is a novel concept if you have played games like Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, or Paper Mario Color Splash. You can meet the Undo Dog, the Eraser Guy, and so all these characters that originally were just tools to assist in your creation now have personalities. Who knew that Nintendo could actually get creative with something? So, basically, in order to get coins, you play these pre-made levels by Nintendo, and they are absolutely stellar quality. They do a good job of progression, because while you could do them in order from 1 to however many levels there are, I haven't even beaten all of them. I beat the main story mode, but there's still like post-game content to keep me busy. But if you don't want to do it in a strict order that the game gives you, you can choose to do it in whatever order you want. Say there's a level that says Welcome 3D World, and you're like, no, 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 I want to do some 2D Mario levels first. And okay, suit yourself. I mean, granted, jobs come and go as the story progresses, but for the most part, you do have a large amount of choice and decision making. And while it doesn't exactly create the branching dialogue that I think Nintendo was teasing us about, it does allow a glimpse into a more non-linear approach that Super Mario Odyssey started, and it seems like this game is continuing. So there are 5 different game styles unlocked from the start. There may be more, but I'm not sure how to get them just yet. There's Super Mario Bros., which is the 1985 original. That was actually the first video game I ever played. And the basics are the basics, although you can still take elements from later Mario games and incorporate them into the retro style, which was always one of the coolest things about the original Super Mario Maker. And considering how many new things they added to the sequel, that makes it even cooler, because you can add stuff like the Angry Sun into the original Super Mario Bros. Who would have thought that? Also, Koji Kondo himself, the man, the myth, the legend, after basically being in retirement for so long, has finally come out of the ashes to compose brand new music for the new level themes in styles that didn't already have a theme. So for instance, a snowy Super Mario World theme, because Super Mario World didn't have a snow theme, or a sky theme for Super Mario Bros., which also didn't exist. This music sounds really cool, and you can really tell, okay, Koji Kondo himself composed this, so you know it's going to be a masterpiece. Heck, that snow theme just gives me the shivers by how well composed it was. And these level themes really make you kind of miss the variety in the new Super Mario Bros. U style. Because granted, that game was kind of unoriginal, and I still kind of agree with that, especially after playing New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. But in Super Mario Maker, it feels like anything but unoriginal. When you have, say, a swamp level, slopes, things that we take for granted in a main Mario game, but in Super Mario Maker, it's like, wow, that's such an odd omission. But as much as they brought back, they also innovated a lot. Stuff like swinging claws, nighttime, where it radically changes the level. Just to name one example, in the Super Mario Bros. 3 style, if you do a nighttime underground course, then gravity will be reversed, and you'll be doing things from top to bottom and vice versa as you switch. Most of this is pretty genius stuff, although the biggest thing I had a gripe with was the claw. You see, there's sort of this unspoken rule that you can like indirectly affect when a claw will drop an object, and that led to so much frustration in one particular level. Thankfully, the frustrations were few and far between. I only ever needed Luigi's assistance for one level. And even then, there was a second level that I thought I needed his assistance, but then I accidentally made a mistake. And during that mistake, I said, oh, that's a technique I didn't consider. Maybe I should try that. So then I rebooted the level, and I was able to solve it. So, I guess if you're on the fence about Nintendo's easy mode style and wondering, like, when will they just give up on their Super Guide, you might not want to dismiss it too easily. You can choose to have Luigi beat the level for you if you get a game over, or just allow yourself to put custom parts into the level to give yourself a little bit of a smoother experience. You may not need to complete the level like that, but at the very least, you could use that as a way to give yourself an idea of how you might be able to complete the level. Super Mario 3D World is debuting in the sequel, and man, they just went all out with this. Not only is it a new style, but it's sort of its own gameplay mode. It can't even intermingle with the other styles at all, like you could with, say, New Super Mario Bros. U elements in the Super Mario Bros. Game style. Super Mario 3D World takes what was originally a 3D platformer on the Wii U and turns it into a side-scrolling pseudo 2.5D platformer. It sounds weird, but it's actually a really cool concept, and to tell you the truth, I actually like these levels better than the entirety of Super Mario 3D World itself. it kind of makes me wish that maybe Nintendo, if they ever chose to remake Super Mario 3D World or put it on the Switch, instead of porting over the actual game, they should just make a whole new game in the style of how Super Mario Maker 2 does it. Especially if it gets more people to like that game, because I certainly didn't. Nintendo did such a fine job of crafting these Mario levels that not only do they provide a hearty challenge, but also a nice way of easing newcomers into the action. But they teach you how to play Mario as you go along. Just as I said in my review of the 3DS version, I was learning stuff about Mario that I didn't know was possible through playing these levels. And it's also humorous that when you start up a level, you have commentary from the person that made it, and even though they try to keep their names anonymous, sometimes you can just tell who made it. Like, you can say, yeah, that was very clearly Bowser. No question about it. And overall, just the level of Nintendo polish that goes into it, it's really hard to describe if you're not a diehard Nintendo fanboy like me. But the little things, like for example, when Nintendo makes clapping sounds when you do something right, or when you enter a haunted swamp and the music goes, that's the kind of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily expect from the competing consoles, because they're more about horsepower than about fun. Whereas Nintendo's like, you know what? You can keep your fancy schmancy graphics, but if they're going to ruin the gameplay, no thanks. And so as a result, this game runs very smoothly in all play modes, controls great, looks great. In fact, it even takes the old game styles and brings them into HD, which is not a novel concept if you played the original Super Mario Maker. But if you haven't, you've never seen Super Mario Bros. Look better. That's all I'm going to say right now. So with that, I think this game is definitely worth picking up. But I wouldn't recommend picking it up at full price unless you're going to be willing to pay for Nintendo Switch Online, because you won't be able to play anyone's courses. Sure, you can make your own courses, and a second player can actually assist you in making courses, but you won't be able to put them online or play courses online unless if you have an account membership. So that kind of stinks, and I, for one, am not going to support Nintendo in making me pay for something that was free on the Wii U. You know, why didn't you learn your lesson with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? That took all of the DLC from Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U and put it in there for free. Why couldn't they have done that with this? Well, regardless, I think this game could definitely be a major must-have for the Nintendo Switch, even if you don't go online, because like I said, I beat the main game, and yet I'm still finding more jobs that I haven't completed, and I just had so much fun playing through Nintendo's levels that I thought I was playing a brand new Mario game, and the level of satisfaction was absolutely unreal. And I just really hope you guys will be willing to try out the single player for yourself, hopefully before you get into the main creation mode, because that's actually how you unlock a great number of gear and suits. So with that, if I'm missing anything, let me know, and likely I missed it on purpose because I'm just going to wait for a collabor to help me out with the stuff that I refuse to pay for. And until the next time, keep the faith, stay epic, God bless, and hope you can make better Mario levels than me. Bye!